Hi everyone, NG here, and today we are going to be looking at 10 different Excel formulas to help you do your work. And we're going to be looking at these formulas that are quite very useful in Excel, but a lot of people don't know how to use them correctly. The first one is the average formula, followed by the mass formula, the mean, the sum, followed by the SumIf. We're also going to be looking at the count formula, how to use the CountIf formula, and how to use the CountA. And then we're going to look at CountBlank, what it is. And then we're going to look at the Vlookup formula. Please watch to the end so that you understand how to use each and every one of these listed formulas. Now let's jump right into the video. Average formula. The average formula is used to calculate the average number in a given range of numbers. The average number in a given range of numbers. For instance, we have on a screen cells made on different kinds of balls over a period of time. To calculate the average for these cells, if we want to know the average cell, all we need to do is click on a cell and then put our equality sign and then go to average. So average is already out here. Click on that to open the bracket and then select the data range. So our data range is from here to here. C2 to C17 and close the bracket and hit enter. So we have 26.9375 average. The average cell is 26.9375. 2 is the mass formula. We're going to look at how to use the mass formula. The mass formula will return for us the highest number or the number with the highest value in a given number range, in a given range that contains numbers. So the cell with the highest value will be returned. Okay, let's say we have this large data that is not sorted and we don't know what the highest number is. So we can just use the mass formula to quickly retrieve the highest number in the data range. So to use that is simple. We just click on the equality sign, type it, and type max. So max is this, and then it opens the bracket for us. So we also go and select the data range we are working with and close the bracket and hit enter. So the maximum value in this set of numbers, these numbers in this cells column, is 37. To verify that, we can even sort. I say go to sort, right click, go to sort, and sort largest to smallest. So you can see 37 is the largest. Number 3 formula we'll be looking at is the mean. The mean is the direct opposite of the mass. The mean will retrieve for us the lowest number in a given range, the lowest value in a given range, the minimum value in a given range. So to do that, to retrieve that minimum value, we also put our equality sign and then choose the mean formula. Also, we'll select our data range from beginning to end and close our bracket and hit enter. So now it retrieves 15 for us. 15 is the minimum value in our data range. To verify that, we can also sort this from smallest to largest. So we go to smallest to largest. There you are. So we have 15 at the smallest number in the data range. Okay. Number 4 formula we'll be looking at is the sum formula. The sum formula is used to add up every numerical value in a given range. To add up every numerical value in a given range. So the sum formula is very useful, super useful in Excel. You can quickly sum up numbers, sum up values, and then you can quickly see what the total is. So to use the sum formula, we'll also go to a cell. Let's say we put the sum in this cell and then type our equality sign and then go and get the sum formula. Select the range we want to sum. Close our bracket and hit enter. The sum function can be used in any way to sum across or sum down. For instance, if I type numbers here and I put another one here, I put another one here, I can sum across. In this place, I can sum from here to here. Close my bracket and hit enter. So I have 68, the sum of 68. You can sum everything in a data range. Let's say you have numbers here. And I want to sum everything from here to here. So I can put my cursor here or select that cell and type equality sign and then type sum, open the bracket and select everything here to sum it. Close the bracket and hit enter. So it sums everything in that data range. That is how the sum formula is used to sum numbers in Excel. And note it only works with numbers. Next, we're going to be looking at SumIf, the formula SumIf. SumIf is very different. It's similar to sum, but somehow different. So it actually sums selected values in a given data range. It sums selected values in a given data range or using a specific parameter to select the values to sum. Okay, so let's see how it works. For instance, if we put our equality sign and then SumIf in this place, in this instance, then we'll go to our range will be all under, select everything under item, that is our range, comma, our criteria will be whatsoever we type inside this cell, comma, and then the range we are summing, that is the values we are summing, is under cells. So we close the bracket and hit enter. Now we have 0 because there is nothing in our criteria cell. Let us put, for instance, yellow ball and hit enter. So it's telling us the total cells for yellow balls as recorded in this data set is 116. We can verify that. So we have yellow ball here 25, yellow ball here 25, then yellow ball in this place 37, yellow ball here 29. So if we say 25 plus 25 plus let's use the sum value to do that outrightly. Yeah, the sum formula, sorry. If we sum 25 plus 25 plus 37 plus 29. Close the bracket. Close the bracket and hit enter. We have 116. Okay. We can change this to orange, for instance. Orange ball. Hit enter. Orange ball is 58 in the data range. So if we look at it, we have 3 places that orange ball appeared. We have 20, 15, and that is 25. And then we have orange ball 23. So we have 23 plus 25 is 58. So we can use it to selectively sum up different values using a particular parameter in a data set. So it is a very useful tool if you have a large amount of data you want to sum up just for particular parameters, selected items in the data set. Okay. Next, we are going to look at the formula count, how you can use count to work on your data. Okay, to do that, we'll just, what does the count do? The count formula counts the number of cells or the number of values you have in a data set that is numerical. It will not count text, it will only count numerical values. For instance, we have in our cells column, the count formula will count for us the number of cells that has number inside the cell in this column, if we use that column as our data array. Okay, so for instance, let's go look at how it works. Count. So we're taking our value for counting for all the cells that has value inside it under cells. So close the bracket and hit enter. So we have 16 cells that has numerical values in them under cells or under our data array. Okay, so we have 16. If you count it, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, all right. So for instance, if we add something that is not a value in this place, let's say we just add h there, enter. It's telling us we have 15 because it doesn't count the one that has that doesn't have a numerical value inside it. Okay, so let me put back our numerical value, and it goes back to 16. That is how the count formula works. It will count everything in a data range that has numerical value inside it. Number 7 is CountIf. CountIf formula is very similar to SumIf formula. However, in this case, it's not summing, it's counting. So, and it's also just like the SumIf, it will count a particular kind of item in a data set that have been specified. Like it will count whatever parameter you've given to it to count. It will select it from the data set instead of counting everything and count that for you. Okay, so let's look at how it works. So I'll put my equality sign here and then go to CountIf. Here it is. Open the bracket. So the data range it is going to count is this. The items, that's the data range. So I'm going to put my comma and then the criteria I want it to use and count. I'm also going to put it in this cell. Then I close my bracket and hit enter. So we have 0 because there's nothing in this cell. So let's say I also put orange balls here and hit enter. So it's going to tell me that in this data set or this group of data, orange was listed 3 times. Orange ball was listed 3 times. If I change that to yellow ball and hit enter, you see yellow ball was listed 4 times. If I also change that to pink ball and hit enter, pink ball was listed once only in this list. So that is how CountIf operates. So it gives you the count of a particular kind of item based on the perimeter or the parameter that you've specified in the formula. So next is CountA. Number 8 is CountA. The CountA is the opposite of count formula. The CountA will count everything in a data set or in a range, unlike the count formula that will count only numerical values. The CountA counts everything, text, numerical value, whatsoever that is in a cell, it counts it, but it doesn't count blanks. It will not count blank cells for you. Okay, so for instance, if we have, in this place we have 23, and then we have James, and then we have 35, and then we have Irene and Joy. If we are using the CountIf to count the items in the cell, so we put our equality sign there and go to CountIf and select that, open the bracket and select everything in this data range, close the bracket and hit enter. Oh, sorry, CountA, we're working with CountA. Okay, so if we're using the CountA to count the data in this range, so we're going to start from here, and that is our data range. Close the bracket and hit enter. It's telling me there are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cells that contains value in this data set or in this data range. They are 5. But if we change that to count, let's remove the A in the formula and make it only count. You'll see what happens. Hit enter. It gives me back 2 to tell me that it's only 2 cells that contains numerical values. If I change this Joy now to 45 and hit enter, it changes to 3. So I put back the Joy. Hit enter, it goes back to 2. But if I change this back to, if I change the formula back to CountA and hit enter, it goes back to 5. So it counts everything in the data range. Okay, minus blank. Now let's see what happens if I have any blank cell in between. Let me say insert. Insert. Shift says down. So we now have one blank cell. It's still telling me it's 5 because it is ignoring the blank cell. Okay, so that is how it works. It doesn't count blanks. Okay. So number 9 formula we'll be looking at is the CountBlank formula. CountBlank formula. This will count the blanks in a given data set or in a column. The cells that are blank, it will count the number of cells that are blank, that doesn't have anything inside it. So to try it out, let's put our cursor here and type equality sign and go to count. So we choose CountBlank this time and open the bracket. Then select this data set that we created earlier and close the bracket and hit enter. So it's telling us we have one blank cell. Now let's remove one, let's make another cell blank and see. So it changes to 2. So it counts only the blank cells in a data set. That is how the CountBlank formula works. Okay, formula number 10 we are going to be looking at is the VLOOKUP. The VLOOKUP function is used to retrieve lookup from left to right using the string value at the left to retrieve corresponding values in the following rows, in the following rows to the left, to the right. So for instance, I have a set of values. In this table, we have the column name, net pay, designation, and age. We can use the name to look up the other values in net pay or in designation and age for a particular individual without having to go searching it, especially if we have a large amount of data. Okay, so to create that function, if you look at underneath here, we have name, net pay, designation, and age. So we want to create the function to look up net pay. Excuse me. With VLOOKUP, we want to create the function to look up net pay with VLOOKUP function or formula. So we put our equality sign there and type VLOOKUP. So the first thing it's going to ask us is the lookup value. That's the parameter we're going to be using to look up. So we're going to be putting it right here. So we just click on C17 and then put our comma. And then the table array is the whole data in this table. This is our table array. And so we also add comma. So in this table array, we're going to specify the column number that we'll be looking up for this particular formula we're putting. And the column number is 2, because if you start counting from the left, you have name, number 1 column, net pay number 2, designation is number 3 column, and age. So we are looking up net pay at this instance. So we are typing 2 and then comma. So we're going to type exact match. We want exact match. We don't want approximate match. So to ask to make VLOOKUP formula look up exact match, we can put 0 at the end and then close our brackets and hit enter. So you're still not available because we don't have anything right here in this place now. So let's say we type one of the names there. Let's say we type Ann Mike and hit enter. It brings up the value, the net pay value for Ann as seen in our table array. Okay, if we change that to Cecilia Bernard, enter, it brings up the net pay for Cecilia Bernard in our table array. Okay, let's create the value to look up designation the same way, equal to VLOOKUP. Open the bracket. So again, we are going to be using name to look up the designation. So we click here, C17, that is where our lookup value is. And our table array again is the whole of this, comma. And this time around, we are going to be looking up in the third column number 3. So instead of typing 2, we're going to type 3. So we're typing 3 here and comma, and then also add our 0 to tell the formula to give us exact match. Okay. Hit enter. So now you see for Cecilia Bernard, designation is manager. Okay. The same way we're going to create for age, equal to VLOOKUP. And our VLOOKUP value is still the same, C17. Then our array is the same table. And this time around, we're going to be looking up from the column number 4. So we put 4 there, comma, and then 0 to bring up exact match, and close our bracket and hit enter. So it also looks up for Cecilia Bernard, age of Cecilia Bernard. So if we change this, for instance, to L James, hit enter, everything changes. It brings up all L James data as seen in the table. So it is very useful when you want to quickly look up values from it can be thousands of data in that data range. So you don't want to be searching one after the other. You just want to simply create a lookup function, VLOOKUP function, to retrieve the information you want without stress. Okay.